Welcome to In the Know with Steph and Joe. In the Know with Steph and Joe is all about small business development. These two entrepreneurs bring real-life experience, laughter, and, well, just a ton of knowledge on how to build your small business and make it thrive. After all, this is your creation. Now learn how to make it sing. In the Know with Steph and Joe airs Fridays at 3 p.m. right here on 216 The Net. Like, follow Steph's books and Restoration One of Cary, along with 216 The Net on Facebook, and subscribe to the 216 The Net YouTube channel.
Wait, oh, we're live.
Yeah, you're
We're
live.
We're just completely just.
No, I'm looking at the screen and paying attention. What
No.
are you doing?
I was on my phone.
So you're not paying attention.
Yeah, whatever.
Well,
So-
does that mean that if you're not paying attention, you might get swiped by some swindler on the cyber web?
Swipe right.
Swipe or no swiping.
Swipe or no swipe by a swindler on the cyber web?
Yeah.
Because you don't have a A?
Mm-hmm. So I think the best part of the green room today was that one, we really didn't talk about the show.
At all.
We were walking in the parking lot and Joe's like, "What's the topic today?" And I'm like, "MFAs." And he's like, "What the fuck is an MFA?"
I love it.
So clearly,
I've come
we're
to
ready for the show
determine
today.
it's a motherfucking asshole.
That's it.
Yeah.
Hi,
So
Mom.
MFAs. Hi, Mom. Sorry, you are not an MFA. All right. So what I've come to learn is an MFA is a multi-factor
authentication.
authentication. So what exactly does that mean? Please explain it again. Because from the parking lot, I'm deaf, hard to hear over the traffic. What
So-
exactly is that again?
It's a secondary layer of security when you're logging into a piece of software or a bank or
Yeah.
something like that. So you'll either get a text code or a phone call or an email to validate and verify that it is in fact you logging in to said site.
That would
Or
be like me
program.
wearing underwear and pants. It's a second layer to a accident that could occur.
To protect your valuables.
Yes.
More so, I was thinking to protect other people from seeing my accident.
Oh,
It's a
yikes.
second layer, right?
So it gives you that layer of protection. And what kind of brought this show about is that I don't know how many people listening out there were affected by that cell phone outage.
AT&T.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I have AT&T. I know some people that had T-Mobile were affected. Some people that had Verizon were affected. So there was allegedly it was 77,000 people or something that were affected by this outage, this unknown outage. And so since we
Just
have
locally. So now,
no, it was affected multiple major cities.
how? Well, 77,000 is not that many.
But I'm just
In
saying
multiple major cities. I'm just
Well-
going off statistics. Hang on. Now, wait. What does that mean if you were affected? How did it affect you in your multi-level? What was the effect, I guess?
Well, I was pretty much dead in the water because all of everything gets text message to my cell phone. So I couldn't log into any of my software, any of my tax software. I couldn't access anything. And then nobody on my team could send me any codes for any of the clients that they were working on to get
'Cause
access
it's
to
all
their stuff.
through, it's all you
So-
set it up all through text.
Yeah, so it all comes to my cell phone.
But what if you
Right.
set it up
Because
through
you can't do it through a landline because they can't text to a landline.
Oh, it has to be through your cell phone.
If it's a text message, it has to be a cell phone.
Well, why don't you set it up to be a
Well, I
email?
can't log in and change it
Right.
during the outage. I couldn't.
Because I can't get my text login code.
Right. It was just when I was trying to work on the airplane one time and I forgot to turn.
Do you think
It
about that when
off.
setting accounts up like that?
Well, now I do because we had this problem. But it's I can't turn it off though because I can't risk that security situation because
Yeah.
I don't know how many people that have been affected recently from email scams and payroll scams have been a huge thing where a lot of people have been affected.
I mean, is it the radiation or what happened? Did you lose a bet, or was that St. Baldrick's? I mean, what's going on?
What do you mean? Oh, I forgot I cut my hair. Yes. Sorry. I mean, I do have hair. It was time.
Yeah.
It was time to cut it off. No, I agree with you. What I'm saying is did you change the way you're doing things now, or are you changing the way you're doing things? Because
if I add another phone line to my cell phone,
no,
it's the same
why
phone
not get
carrier,
the
so the
email,
same thing.
though?
But not every option, not every thing has an email option. So some of them have email, some of them have text, and some of them have phone calls.
So
I am being very novice on this because I am.
If you're logging into Google, let's say,
they email you.
Or I get a thing.
The thing where it says, please verify this.
Yeah, are you getting
by
into
Authentication app or whatever?
Right.
Yeah, because I have like 6 or 7 different apps as well, like on my phone for multi-factor authentications outside of just the text message.
But
stuff.
you're also.
I'm accessing sensitive data all day long.
All day.
So
it's so much sensitivity in your world.
Very sensitive.
So it's very different. But I'm just like one time, I don't know if you remember, but like several shows ago, like a couple years ago, I clicked the link. And then by clicking this link,
I do remember,
gave whomever alleged access to my email.
Yeah.
But they couldn't get through because I had my multi-factor authentication turned on. So I just got like 79 text message codes. And so I knew something was wrong.
Yeah. So
they never actually broke in.
Right. So like I use my cellular.
That makes sense.
I use my #pocket computer for work. So
hang on.
Yeah.
Is that rose colored?
No, it's purple.
Yeah. We've already been through this when Kent got the phone.
Yeah.
I remember that. I just don't remember calling out the purpleness of it.
Yeah, very, very lavendery.
Yes, it is. Yes,
He's ready for the spring.
So anywho, I'm a purple guy. Anywho,
I'm okay with that.
So I can't, like my phone, I have to put in a code, or I can't use a swipe thing, pattern. Because of the bank, because the banks, I've got my email on here, which you could have sensitive information on.
Right.
So I have to use a passcode to get into my phone. That's one form.
100% of the time you can't use. What about your face?
Nope.
Right. My phone opens from my face.
Nope.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody were to kill me and hold my phone up to my face, they can open it.
Right. Nope. It's got to be the code. So my code is
what is that?
The code that I use, and it's frustrating, right? Because to your point, when you're in the car or whatever, and you got to get into your phone.
Well, you shouldn't be doing that while you're driving.
Well, you have to sometimes, right?
I mean,
if I say,
we're not promoting it on the show.
If I say, hey Google, call Restoration 1 of Cary, and then it's going to say you need to put in your code. It won't just do it.
You can't say,
sorry,
hey Google, put in my passcode.
Right.
So like I had like the same. No? So like on the airplane.
Interesting.
I was
first off, we just have to point out, because Derek said that my hairdo is for golf season, but it won't help me hit longer.
The long ball,
which I just want to say, it does make me more aerodynamic, so I'll at least get to my ball.
Close.
I will get to my ball faster.
You're close, and I do like a good bald head.
I know you do.
We can put our heads together and make an ass of ourselves.
Waka waka waka.
But so like when I was on the airplane a few trips ago, I paid for the upgraded Wi-Fi on the airplane. So I was like, I'm going to work.
Yes, that's $10.
Yeah. So I was like, I'm going to work on the airplane and whatever. So I turned it on, whatever. And then I forgot to turn my MFA off on one of my softwares before we took off. So then it was like, text message code. And I was like, shit. And I had already paid for the Wi-Fi. Then it was like, try logging in another way. And then I click the thing. And then it's like, that they'll send the code to my email. Yeah. Cool. So I click that. Then they're like, okay, sent you the email code. Now we're going to text you the code. And I'm like, no. So
Wait,
then I
wait,
wasted
though.
$15.
Like, to me, I always make sure that my phone is the first one to get connected to the Wi-Fi. I guess that's how I would do it. So that way I can get texts and everything because I'm connected to the Wi-Fi. So
You can't get those types of text messages through the Wi-Fi on the airplane. I could get like if I turn the Wi-Fi on and I'm connected to like the Wi-Fi
My
on
phone.
the plane, I
Yeah.
can get text messages from certain cell phone carriers, like certain people.
True.
But you cannot get those codes on Wi-Fi.
I have no idea, I guess.
So
True that.
I guess I don't know, but
it's been an adventure with this.
Here's
whole
the deal.
thing.
I really don't clearly use
You don't say.
MFAs, motherfucking assholes, too much, right? Like, I don't use them that much. I only use them when I log into an actual website.
Or if you're Derek, it's Master of Financial Advising.
Oh, that's a good one.
WAP. We got to come up with a lot more of those throughout the show.
But yeah, it's just like, so like if the girls are trying to log into someone's bank account to get their bank statements, they'll have to send a code to my phone, and then there's a secondary token that I have to send them in order for them to add it to the password, the back end of the password that we have in our system. Like, it's like a whole thing.
Yeah.
But I guess this, like, also this show, I guess, is a good way to show how secure, like, I think we are. I don't know for sure, but say, like, in my mind,
it works great until you don't have it and you need it and you're like, mother sweet God.
Well, until somebody figures out how to swipe your phone number and like tap into your phone number, so that way when you get a text, they actually get the text, they get the code.
Oh, you're sitting if you're sitting in
Whatever.
if you're sitting in Starbucks on the Wi-Fi on your phone, somebody go in there and get all your stuff, buddy.
Well,
Yeah.
all I'm saying though is
I just
like,
use my hotspot everywhere I
Yeah,
go
you
because
should.
it's
So many-
password
yeah,
protected.
that's-
So I have my hotspot that's password protected. So like when we were at the hotel
it
for
is? You could do that on your phone.
Yeah.
I pay $20 a month for the hotspot.
Well, I don't know. I'm wrong. Nope.
Carrie, help him out, please.
Well, because like
No, I'm
were-
I'm not paying $20 a month to get
So
you
my
we
might
were-
already be doing it.
but we were just at like the hotel conference. Like we were just at that trade show, you know?
Yeah.
Like me and
Yep.
Bridget just went like the last couple
Yeah,
days.
and you got to see the spotted shark.
Whale shark.
Whatever.
It's a whale shark. I
Yeah,
was
it
so
kind
excited
of a cool
to
picture of it.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, I could see that.
I was excited
But
about that trip.
So we
for
went
her.
and I forgot what I was saying now.
Well planned out thought. We really threw her for a loop that
I know.
We
with the
did,
whale
we
shark.
did.
It's asking
Whale
for
shark.
a code.
Oh.
Her brain is asking for a multi-factor authenticator right now.
She can only picture Sigourney Weaver's voice
Yeah,
and Finding Nemo too.
Oh, the hotspot. So
It is
So-
hard for most of us to find.
So when I was at the hotel, they had
seas.
like free Wi-Fi included with your room or whatever.
Right.
I won't connect my laptop or my cell phone to the free
To the
Wi-Fi.
free Wi-Fi.
I'll turn my hotspot on. From
I'm
my
now
laptop.
going into my personal hotspot, seeing if I can find a way to, because others can join.
Yeah, because so mine is locked and password protected. So
Mm.
How the hell do you do that?
when I bought my phone, I set it up that way so people couldn't, because I knew I'd be traveling with my laptop because my business can be done, you know, from anywhere. But I need to make sure that I'm still secure in the ways that I'm accessing things.
All right. I have a password on my Wi-Fi, on my hotspot.
Yeah.
So they have to
So you'll have
get
it.
they have to get the password. It's not a
Right.
it's not on
Yeah, the hotspot is password protected, which is safer for you to use than the open Wi-Fi, like what Kent was just describing.
Oh,
If you-
totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. So yes, I put
So, I mean-
on my personal hotspot, which I actually found out I can do family sharing where I can make my kids ask for approval for Wi-Fi, for hotspot
Mm.
when we're traveling. That's actually really cool because now I didn't know I could make them, I could turn it off and be like, no,
Yeah,
ask
sure.
for approval.
Eli has my hotspot stuff on his things for when we travel.
Yeah.
But if he's like sucking up too much of my juice because it's too
Yeah,
like
I
it's
guess
Yeah.
it's like if he's watching like high def like videos on YouTube and stuff and
Totally.
I'm trying to do something, I have to kick him off
I'm with you.
because in order
Hey,
to like do what I gotta do.
We're trying to follow GPS in the middle of nowhere. Get off your HD videos.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
So-
get that. Well, how often does that come into play when it comes to like using the does it come in that internet connectivity is a major factor? Obviously it was for when the power outage went out, but
Yeah,
what
like,
about regular connectivity?
No, like when it was like on a normal day, like today, it's fine. But like I was saying also in the green room, is that as we grow as a business and everything is connected and linked to my cell phone or internet or my cell phone or my email, my employees have to send me these codes throughout the day to get access to stuff. So then it also gives me an idea of like where they're at in their day also. But like if I'm in meetings, they're kind of dead in the water until I get out of the meeting to be able to send them the code. Or if I'm driving, or if this time I was at the trade show, they had a lot more limited access to me over the last 3 days than what they're kind of used to.
What would be the point where you feel comfortable sharing the responsibility of receiving the MFA?
Well, so I was thinking about doing like how Don Bremer did and get a second phone and then make that one my personal phone and then leave this one as my work phone. And then I could leave this phone in the office with like the team and then they could use it for getting the codes and stuff. Or if I go out of town, then they have that and then they don't need.
But then
me.
you can't see their activity like
I could see it through the other app I have for our CRM software or our work management software, whatever. I could see it all through there.
Okay.
We have
Don't worry, I'm watching those people.
We have so many softwares, it's ridiculous.
I know. Okay, that's a great point. How much does that play into a factor when you think about multi-factor authentic? Damn it, I can't say it.
Authentication.
Today. That's it. Yeah. Yes.
Well, for me in my industry, I have to have it on. I'm sure in Kent's industry, he has to have it on.
Okay, so certain
has to
things,
have it on.
Okay.
I mean, because our people are sending us things and we're accessing softwares or we're accessing documents that are, sensitive documents. So I would feel like it's more so industry based on a professional level, but even personally, you should have it on because if your email gets hacked and you don't know because you don't have that on, then somebody could put up forwarding rules and all of these things on your email and you'll never know because that's not something that you normally look at when you're checking your emails.
100%.
So, I'm sure Eric Vicencio.
I literally, that just popped in my head. I'm like, man, I ought to talk to Eric. When's he coming on the show?
Yeah, so he'll be on next week to do
perfect
a deeper dive into like securities and setting things up and all of this. And we're just kind of prefacing that show with our, I guess, basic knowledge of what we're
MFAs.
Doing in our business. In our businesses.
I just want to swear every time I say MFA. It's like that's all I think of when I hear that.
But
anyway.
So I feel like it's saved me in the aspect of when I had I stupidly clicked that link. So it saved me from somebody actually being able to access my contact list and my clients and whatever is in my emails. So I had that safety net, and I still got, yelled at by my IT department, Rich. But,
Okay. Does he have any that go to him and you have to reach out to him? Because there's some that I log into, right? That when I log into something, Xfinity, or Comcast or whatever to watch a show, right? Mm-hmm. And it's like sent you this to your main hub email. And I'm like, Carrie, can you send me the code? You have 60 seconds. And I'm like, send me the code.
The only code that goes to him, like for work, is if I log in under his QuickBooks login, he'll get a code.
Because there's that for sure. QuickBooks does that.
Yeah.
Sends you the code. But even, if the computer updates, and then Drew at the other studio is trying to get into, you
There
know,
you go.
216 Creator Studios. I get the text. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hey, are you logging in? And he's got to call me and be like, would you just hit yes on that? I'm like, oh my God, I don't even have my phone with me or whatever.
Didn't even see
Yeah.
that.
Right.
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 Yep.
And that's kind of a pain in the ass because you can't pick like 3 phones to send it to.
Right. Yeah. So we changed because originally,
Good
like
point.
Rich's
Good point.
phone was that phone for our Gmail account
Yeah.
for our Google My Business stuff.
Yep.
And then he kept getting codes from me and the team. And so it was
He's
annoying
like-
to him.
He's
Right.
like,
And then
turn this off.
there was something else too that was on for him. And then now, our credit card. So then now it's all under my phone number now. He switched it. He's like, nope. After like 1 week of it, he's
All
like,
right,
nope.
Derek says, always on, and sometimes I'm grumbling under my breath having to do it, but it's definitely needed in my industry. Yes, as we mentioned. Along with a hotspot, I want to work anywhere besides home and my office. I hate how short some of the code times are with some things,
That's
right?
a pain in the
Yeah.
It's 60 seconds.
Yeah,
And
or
you're
less.
like,
No.
literally, I'm trying to text you. So
All of my token codes are 30 seconds for the banks.
30? Whoa.
Yeah.
So that is a good point in the sense that when I know, because Carrie's got everything, she gets all the codes.
Congratulations, Carrie. You've got it all, sister.
Hey,
We love you for that.
so when I know I'm going to go get something and I'm gonna get a code, I prompt her, hey,
Yeah.
code's coming. Can you just pay attention to your phone and send it right when you get it? Right. 99% of the time that's enough. And as long as you're on it, right?
60% of the time, it works every time.
69. Hey, do you know what's wrong with 6.9?
I know.
The period.
Hey.
But it's like on personal things, it's frustrating and annoying when you have to keep sending codes to your significant other. But like professionally, when it like bogs down your day and then you're paying your staff to sit there while they're waiting for the codes, and then they gotta resend the code, and then you need another code, and then like it's just like it's a lot sometimes. So yeah, as we're getting bigger, I might contemplate getting like a secondary phone for the codes to go to, because eventually I'm not going to be able to do that, because sometimes they'll text me in advance, like how you're describing, like with Carrie.
Mm-hmm.
They'll be like, hey, can I send you a chase code? And I'm like driving. So then I have to respond back, yes. Then they send the code. Then I got to copy and paste and send the code. Like it would just be easier if they're like, hey, I sent the code. And then I just send it. But
Yeah,
I
but
got
then
five people texting me.
but hang on. My thing with that is if you send it after you sent the code, you could send the code, but the code has a time limit. And if you say, if the code's sent, then you send the text saying, hey, I sent the code, then you got 30 seconds left to snip the green wire before the bomb goes boom.
Right.
Right. And you're driving, and you literally, many times I may not even be paying attention to my phone.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I'd rather get a buzz.
all
Or
my text
some-
messages go on the screen on my phone or on my car,
Well,
so I could see them all as they're coming through.
That's not a distraction.
Well, you can't see them while you're driving. Like it'll give you an alert and you push it,
Yeah.
and then it will read it to you.
Some of
So
us-
you have to push a button to read things.
Well,
some
just
of
you
us
push
still
the
have
thing,
a
and then
CD
it like
player in the vehicle. that
it
we
like
drive.
reads the message to you. So like certain people, when they text message, I won't click the button if I have passengers in the car.
Ah, yes.
Like I discovered
Smart.
that I'm the friend that people won't
yeah.
answer the phone for if there's other people in their car. Like April had her boss in the car a couple days ago,
100%.
And then
Oh,
he- and
I
then
am that
she-
one too.
and then she didn't answer the phone. She's like, nope.
I'm probably very much that person.
So yeah. Hi,
That's
Christine.
awesome.
Loved your podcast the other day.
Yes, I have listened to most of it so far. I loved it. I because she keeps asking me to listen to it.
I
and
didn't know that you had one.
Was
She was, like,
she
being
was on
interviewed.
another
I
podcast.
know. It would have been nice. I would have known.
It was on
She
it's
just
on
put
the-
it on
the Book of
on,
Face.
on the face of
Oh.
books. Yeah,
I don't
well,
go out on Facebook.
That's
maybe
how I
you
saw it.
should. Maybe you
Not
should
all the time.
put all your authentication codes on there.
Yeah.
I said the word.
Ooh, look, you got in trouble for your most of it.
No, she's laughing at most of it.
Mm-hmm.
Laughing most of it.
I think she meant to put the knife emoji.
All right, so I love the point that you're bringing up about the second phone and all that jazz with like bringing in, having something locally that your employees can go to. But how do you control that phone?
What do you mean?
I don't know. Like, I guess now I'm picturing like you were saying like, hey, if I get these, I could see what.
Well, so like Bridget, as our manager, she would have the code to get into the phone, and then she would be responsible for dispersing those codes amongst the teams as they send them, because she's in the office like all day with the team.
Mm-hmm.
So she
and then you can obviously open review whatever,
and then she would have the code for that. I don't know. I don't really know the best way to make this work. So hopefully Eric will be able to break it down. Like next week. I feel like
tune in.
I feel like everything's like in theory, but I feel like there's no avoiding those. I mean, because have you seen? I mean, maybe I just see it more because I'm in the industry, but there's so many people that have gotten hacked recently with those payroll scams.
Where
people have like logged into, so they didn't have like their MFAs turned on, so they logged in to their QuickBooks, or like the people I know. So it happened with a couple, like 1 or 2 payroll providers, and then also QuickBooks, where they didn't have the code on, and so someone got their password, logged in, and then changed the direct deposit information for one of their employees.
Yeah, I mean
and then.
The good news,
nobody knew.
The good news for me is I have the same password for every account. But people don't think that I'm dumb enough to do that.
What's your underwear color and your mother's maiden name?
That's right.
Well,
brownish for both.
I guess my thought is, if you're using the codes,
yes,
right, and you're doing all that and everything's good and dandy, you should be fine. Like everything's fine.
It's like everything. It's like everything else in this world. It's fine until it's not.
Correct.
You know, like,
and sometimes it's not because it's out of your control. Like what happened with AT&T.
Right. Oh, there's Eric. Yeah. So we're
prepping. Eric, you're in the house.
Good, because we're prepping. We're giving you all of this information.
Dude, we're leading you in.
You should be taking all of the notes about how Joe is not good at this game.
Whoa! I have yet to be hacked. All right.
Don't.
It's
say
hard
that.
to. It's hard to hack.
You just jinxed yourself.
It's hard to hack
oh my God.
A chisel and stone. I don't. Come on.
Oh my God.
Come on.
So, Eric, in your industry, I'm sure you have all of the multi-factor authentications turned on as well, you know, with being in IT. I mean, all of my clients that Eric set up VPNs for, those, again, have codes. So I get a code. So when they log into that client's VPN to see their computer, then I get codes. So it not only protects us, but it also protects my client in case I was to get hacked. Then my client's still protected, because then the person in theory shouldn't be able to get to the code to officially get into my client stuff. Right, Eric? That's how it works.
Hey, Eric, welcome to the show. Wait, save that question for next week. I think that's a good question for next week.
Okay.
Yeah, we have enough for next week.
Ish.
No, we're gonna have a lot because there's so much behind IT in general, right?
Well, yeah, it's a big portion of everyone's life now. We've got smart TVs. We've got, I mean, you know, and when you need to update an app on your smart TV, you get that multi-factor.
Oh my God, that's what I was talking about. Yeah. It's like everything goes to my wife for all of our subscriptions on the TV and what I want to watch, and I'm like, I'm sending you a code. Bink, honey, please. Yeah. So I'm all for the codes to make sense, but I agree that there are definite areas that they're needed, but there's also definite areas that I'm like, is this really needed? But apparently Eric agrees. In his opinion, MFAs should 100% be on all the time. And also my wife says she's a lucky gal.
Lucky.
But
She is a multi-factor. You know what I'm talking about.
Whoa, no.
Oh.
Why do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, she runs the business.
Oh,
She's
oh,
very
good.
multi-factor.
Oh, yeah. Eric
what
has
are
a
you
good
talking
point.
about,
I
sinner?
had a problem with this happened before. So Eric says that their multi-factor authentication software is advanced enough to check the location, trusted locations, among other things. So there's been times where I've tried to like log in from like my
A
mom's
different
house
state or something
Yeah.
like that, yeah?
and it's a different IP address and stuff, and it alerts. Like in some of the softwares that we have, it won't let me because it's not one of the
She's
ones
not
that's
in
listed.
a safe place.
Yeah.
So do you then have to go through extra
I have to
things,
call
or
the.
is it that hard, or is it like that? Like, oh, you have to actually call in and say, no, I'm here. This is me.
I have to call the IT company to approve the IP address.
There's not like a button you can click and say, nope, this is
No,
me.
because if I'm
in
the
the right
criminal,
spot.
like, then, yeah.
I feel like you could be able to put in another, I don't know, something else.
I am not that multi-factor.
That's like
That's just
multi-factor.
That's some crazy
Yeah,
shit
yeah.
right there.
That's what I'm saying is like,
But so it just shows like
isn't there a way to make that happen? Come on,
but it's
Eric.
like it's not
you
just
can make
for
millions off that.
but it's not just for your protection like for your business, it's protection for your client and giving them the security and the
understand
protection
that.
on their end.
I understand
Like that one's really for them versus you. And like for with the like
Again,
the VPN stuff.
Again, I barely do much that people can get. It's Carrie protects us from everything.
Yeah.
She is the
She is the
rock stone and head
So I guess-
turner.
I guess if my
She is the
MFAs
factor.
fail, then we have a secondary extra like cyber security policy, which I hope would cover if anything happened with that.
So that's a great point. Cybersecurity, like insurance.
Mm-hmm.
So my brother does that insurance. But he does it his world is professional liability insurance, right? So he writes just the liability for professionals. So they call that like doctors would be,
Yeah, we have E&O insurance is what we have.
Yep.
Yeah.
E&O, correct.
Yeah.
But then in addition to that E&O, you have cyber liability. Those are both under the professional liability umbrella.
Yeah,
and
so I
that's,
have my policy with my main insurance company for
correct.
that. Then I have a separate couple $1 million policy with Chubb.
Correct.
So,
You
which is
dirty,
the name of
dirty
the
man.
insurance company. But yeah,
correct.
so we have a secondary policy on top of whatever we have already.
Just for cyber.
Yeah, because everything that we do is like, since everything we do is remote and it's all in the cloud or it's all in like cloud-based softwares.
You know where
We
that
need the extra-
coverage really started?
During COVID?
When no before that actually, when Target got busted a couple times and people got their credit cards stolen when Target got hacked. Remember that? They got hacked like 3 times.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Right?
like on Black Friday. Yeah.
Well, the price, the actual cyber liability went through the roof after that. And that's all in the world that I operated in insurance.
See, Eric says that those cyber liability insurance companies require MFA for computers and emails.
Well, I'm sure now.
Otherwise,
the
you're not
market,
gonna
the market's hard, of course. Not in that way.
But I'm just saying they could then
Heyo.
not pay out your policy because you didn't
Correct.
turn those things on. So that's something to think
I
about
have
too.
them on and not allowed to turn them off.
Well, I'm not saying you. I'm
But,
just saying
okay.
in general, like outside there, if anybody's listening and has these insurance policies, you might want to make sure so you're protected.
You know.
My sister chimes in at the worst times.
Where is she?
She's right
Oh,
there.
there
Rogers. Yeah. So hard.
it is. So
That's all she has to say. Thanks, Ree.
So hard.
So, Eric, what is your suggestion now that my team is starting to grow and all of those codes go to my cell phone? Should I get a secondary cell phone and send them there versus sending them to my cell phone and leave that one in the office? Like, what's your professional opinion?
Send them to mom. Make mom send them to you so you can send them to your employees. There's like multi levels of authentication. So, well, also on that point, when you do the extra phone, are you removing a level of security by having a third or like a phone that's unmanned, relatively speaking? It's an office phone and everything goes into that. Or would it really make more sense to have a phone number that is forwarded to an email? Because
no, because not a lot of them offer the email code.
No. But you can have a phone number.
Oh, I feel like that would just take more time.
8 seconds to hit the satellites and come back?
I don't know, because sometimes, I don't know.
Eric, we need Keeper Password Manager will follow for rolling MFA codes. Oh, there you go. There is a solution.
There is, okay.
There is a solution. Listen, hey, we should have known this. We're all from the era. There's an app for that.
However, like LastPass, there's a Keeper.
Oh, I've heard of that. Yeah.
And they've gotten hijacked, right? So there was a lot of people's passwords and information.
So kind of what I'm saying is, I think I'd rather have a phone number that it goes to, but then at the same time, that phone number could be forwarded to an email, right? Because I've received my text messages from a phone number when I lost the phone number and I sent them to an email.
I keep all my passwords in Google.
Oh my God.
Google password manager.
And what's the password to Google?
Brownish, remember?
Brownish.
Right. Okay, fair enough.
Brownish 1 exclamation.
No, it's brownish 2
exclamation.
Well, I mean, in my mind, I can only imagine how you can. Oh, here he is tuning in. No, here he is. Keeper is its own company. LastPass was breached. Keeper is much stronger in terms of security. See, that's what you guys said about me. Famous last words. Yeah. Eric just cursed them.
Yeah, no, I'm with your sister too.
No, Ken said that they had gotten breached.
Right. Listen to what I'm saying. Nobody's going to believe that you have the same password for everything because they're not that stupid anymore. Right. So if you have the same password, they might get it on one, but they're not going to get it on the other.
I don't know.
So, okay. That's like when you go, hang on. That's like people
that
put like 12 deadlocks on their door.
Yeah.
And only lock like 4 of them.
Right.
Because then you're going to go through and you're going to pick every lock.
Right.
Well, that means you're locking 8 of them and unlocking 4 of them as you're picking them.
That's right.
Right? If you don't lock every lock, you're unlocking and locking all of them at the same. Do you get what I'm saying?
I understand what you're saying.
So I get what you're saying. Yeah. Outdumb them. Fair enough, Reed.
Yeah. Hey, I can do that. Spend most of my life.
And that's kind of where I kind of agree, but
I don't know. I hate the banks that make you change your password every 30 days.
Oh, God.
So then, like, you have that problem. But then, like, so for, like, the software for Eli's school, that, like, parent login software, you can't use the same password, the last 15 passwords. But I never remember.
What?
Right.
15?
So you have to come up with
15?
Yes. So I'm like, I can never remember. I don't log into it very often. So I can, like, never remember the password. It would be so much easier if they just shortened that up and put like a MFA on there and just
let me leave
the same password.
Fair enough. Now, but computers are so smart, you can easily like say, update my password. It says use strong password suggested. And you just click and it automatically remembers it and you don't have to do anything.
But what happens if I
log into you. What if the computers take over the world? You don't know your password.
Well, no, like I log into Eli's stuff from different computers.
Thank you, that too.
I changed.
I was more thinking like Armageddon, but like
I
you
think
can go
every,
with
like-
just not remembering your password.
Every time I log into there, I have to reset the stupid password. So now it's like, I hate this site! Exclamation! Exclamation! Like,
I mean,
yeah.
I don't know. Carrie's gonna hate this. I just don't log in.
Rich doesn't log in. I don't
I
even know if
just
he
talk to
knows the.
people.
Like, I don't even know if he knows the website to even get to the login
Way to go, Rich.
for Eli's school stuff.
I am so proud of you.
I wouldn't know Lucy's at all.
Well, I mean,
I hope you don't know my daughter's websites.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
like when I was in Atlanta, I get a text message. Does Eli need cold lunch or hot lunch? I don't know. I literally printed the thing out and put it on the refrigerator before I left. Like, look at the day; it tells you.
Well, our kids are pretty savvy enough that they can pick their own lunch, and
Yeah, well,
Do
Eli will
their-
tell you which one he wants. If he wants cold, if he's going to eat hot lunch, then don't bring him, like, don't give him like a sandwich or whatever. in his backpack.
no making
Yeah.
lunch.
So what did Eric say? Another option is to use a company like Duo
Duo?
for MFA. This will allow you to assign MFA codes for every employee. Both Keeper and Duo, we
use
Ascension IT help our customers implement and maintain. Oh, so they'll set it up.
Oh well,
That'd be easy because I don't like doing any of that.
I
So,
mean,
yeah.
that's good and sweet and all, but I just want to make sure they're all protected. Like, I still think that nobody's going to come and find my stone and chisel and figure out my stuff. Maybe he says.
I told you the date.
Eric, we literally told you, bro. All right, we're calling him out here now. He says we should really invite him onto this one. No, we did. We did, Eric. But we brought you onto the other one because it's going to encompass more than just this stuff. So we got him, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Eric, you're coming on next week and you're going to explain to everybody why Joe and I are going to get hacked because we're not explaining it.
And Ken.
We're not
And my
explaining the
dad.
show
And my
correctly.
dad.
Eric's
That's
going
all
to
right.
need a lot of cocktails during the show. And I bet everybody should tune in to make sure they watch it on video because we're going to take a bet, like a Vegas style bet on how many times he shakes his head or grabs his head.
Or
during
like
the show.
brushes his beard and goes,
Oh, yeah, the beard brush, yeah.
mm.
We're going to take Vegas style bets on that.
Oh, yeah, we're riding. I got the over-unders. We'll figure these out. All right. Dad's getting hacked for sure. Yeah, I told you. Like, I know, Amory. But to be honest, there's nothing there. So
Well, like,
let
I
him
mean,
take all the debts Dad has. That's more for us.
So what about when
Or
people
less
so
of less for us.
What about when people have a Word document on their computer desktop
With all their
that
passwords?
that says passwords?
I know. I love it.
I can't say I didn't have that at one time.
But then, like, Rich has like passwords, but then they're like password protected password. Like, so you have to like log into some other thing.
You have to hit a password to get to his passwords.
Yeah, you have to get the password to get to the spreadsheet to get to the password.
Can he put an MFA on his passwords to get into his passwords so he gets the?
I don't know.
All right. So if if we figure out how to set up this MFA and whatever, do you really want your employees to have full access to them and that's okay? Because I kind of don't. Every time we keep talking about it and bringing it up, I'm like, I don't know. No, I'd rather have.
So what, you would like to know when they're logged in?
Like you were said earlier before in the green room, you're like, no, I kind of like it when I know,
Well,
bing,
I just like
I get a notice.
Well, then I know. Yeah, I mean, well, then I know where they are in their day without me having to log into this other software to see. So, I mean, that's nice in that aspect. But I mean, I trust my team because if I didn't trust them, I wouldn't have hired them. I don't know. But also, too, with the login accesses that we have for people's bank accounts, it's read-only access. So they can't do any bank transfers or anything like that.
Just go in, check it out, look.
And
No,
they could only pull like the statements.
I understand. I guess I just was thinking about like the different things that you were saying about how you like the idea of seeing the activity and knowing how many times an account's being hit or something like that. I don't know. It just made me feel like that does make sense. Green room, not that kind. Green. Green room just means before the show. Conversations before the show.
Yeah. But it's just, like, I don't know. I feel like
wait, we're catching up on Eric.
gives
Drag
you-
sovereignty, you really want to know? It gives what is
What did
this?
he say?
Wait, I can't see.
it gives you everything they did in a day. Oh, I'm assuming the softwares that he mentioned, like the Duo or whatever.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, because
He's competing with Anne-Marie. Him and Anne-Marie are going back and forth. I can't wait till each other meet. They start hacking over, like boxing over comments.
I see Eric's other quote. Yeah. Okay. He says that he has tracking software if you really want to know. I mean, I can see everything that they're doing in our project, in our business, whatever, workflow management software, whatever you call it.
Totally.
I could see it all in there. I could see how much time they spent in there. I could see their emails. I could see everything.
Which we have that kind of tracking stuff too. We have that kind of tracking software as well, and timesheets and things like that to see where they're at on jobs and things like that.
Right.
I just like the idea of knowing, like, ping, it hits me up, right? To know that I'm like, oh, they just switched to another account. Oh,
Yeah.
They just went to
But at
the
a
next
point,
thing.
though, if I continue to grow, it's not going to be manageable for me to be doing that.
I'm not in.
Right. Like at a point,
Right.
like I'm going to hit a tipping point where it's not, I can't manage it.
Right. I agree totally. I just love the idea of the thought of the seeing that, what you said. And
Right.
now I'm like, nope, you're right. Good point. I'm not in.
Yeah.
You see that?
Yeah.
Can you
Mhm.
see that? Can you see from there? Can you read that? You're
Yes.
like reading it like so long. Oh,
'cause
there's
quotes.
more. All right. So Eric says, dang, hi, Anne-Marie. So we're going to catch everybody up on this. And then we could almost get into the what we learned today. But then Anne-Marie said, sorry, Eric, I'm sure you're a great guy. Just here to see and harass Joe. Thanks, fucking Ree. And then Eric says, Steph, you stopped growing taller years ago. A great point, Eric. That's a great point. I love that. That's why we give her the high chair. So she's like
Oh, shit.
almost as tall as me.
I'm not going to sit in this chair when Eric comes next week. I'm going to sit in a regular chair
Why?
because I don't want him to see my high chair.
It's literally like 2 inches taller. It's
Yep.
still a
Nope.
high chair.
Nope.
Yeah, they're all right. Fair enough. So, what do we learn today?
Are we there already?
I mean, we're like 11 minutes. We could drag it out if we wanted to, unless we have anything else. I'm shocked we got this far because Steph and I were both talking like MFAs, motherfucking is. But how long did we talk about them?
No, what Eric says, not you.
Oh, what she lacks in height, she makes up for in sass.
Yeah.
Fair.
Wait till I tell you, Eric, what happened at the bar in Atlanta.
It's a good story. I laughed at it. I still was like thinking about it, going, what the hell did you do? Why'd you do that? It was more actually walking through this.
Yes.
Okay. Walking through the streets in the middle of the night, like looking for bars and shit. Like, what are you doing? Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
Oh my God. So
Listen, I didn't want to throw you under the bus.
well, you realize when just because you like lowered your voice
Voice
like
went,
up to the microphone and being like, does Rich know? Like,
It wasn't
he's
a
gonna
does
hear.
Rich know. It was more like rug, rug, rug.
but
We'll figure it
but
out.
yeah. Okay. So what did you learn today? I guess I didn't think about or take into consideration that if I didn't have the multi-factor authentication turned on, that my extra cyber policies could potentially be junk, and I'm wasting all this money paying for it and not like adhering to the guidelines of the policy. So I didn't think about that. So, I mean, I have them on, so that's fine. But I didn't think about the what if I didn't have them on.
Small thing, like continue on about like just a little bit about the cyber, because that's like such a big part of what many people don't realize, that cyber liability.
Right, but it's just like what I had pointed out. So like my client or someone I know had gotten like hacked or whatever, and they had this issue with their payroll, and now their insurance policy is going to cover it and reimburse and protect them because it was a situation that technically shouldn't have happened, and they're covered under their business policy.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But, you can't rely on that because that could affect your relationship with your other clients or your, employees and stuff like that. If they don't feel protected, they're not going to use you.
And having that good, solid protection. Protection is really a big part of being able to sell to some of your larger clients, because if you don't have the proper coverage or whatever, you're not going to be able to sell that bigger client. Hey, I can handle you. I can cover you. I can handle the work. And if something were to happen, I'm still covered for that large loss that you may incur.
Yeah.
What?
I just think technology is ruining the world. As I run an internet radio station. It causes more work for people. It allows. Listen, when you were a kid, did you ever worry about somebody opening your mail in your mailbox? The answer is no. You were like, whatever.
When I was a kid, I don't think I got mail.
You see what I mean? So now it's like everything we have.
That's so sad,
right?
I mean, I would get like stuff from my grandparents and whatever. But
that's still mail.
Let's be honest. 3 people in this room probably have a smartwatch on, which is the stupidest thing to have, because like when you're driving and you try to look at a 2-inch screen, how is that not distracting?
I never look at my watch.
You always do.
Now, never.
Listen, always.
Ever. The only time I
wear it.
I look at my watch not while I'm driving, jackass.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Listen, and there's all these layers, and I think it's just a big hoax, by people like Eric who run an IT company, right? Hey, listen, you need my service, and you need multi-factor authentications. And listen, if you don't, and we love what Eric does.
Shots fired.
He's my favorite bearded IT guy on the west side of McHenry, right?
Well, that was very specific,
right?
On the northwest corner of First and Green Street in McHenry.
But listen. If you're going to steal my shit, steal my shit. And a lot of times they're going to send me an email with a check for $1,000. Like, Jesus, we're so sorry. We were going to steal your identity and everything, but you really need
You have too many bills.
Right?
Here's some money to help pay your bills, sir.
Right.
We're very sorry for
you.
We're very sorry for you.
That's what I have always wondered, and Rich and I have talked about this multiple times. Like, when people buy other people's social security numbers and stuff, what happens if you get like a bad one?
Well,
they don't use it. They buy so here's the thing: they
get it for work purposes.
They're likely buying. Well, they'll buy it for a visa. Yes, correct. Coming through the border or whatever. Maybe I don't know. That's speculation. We'll just go with that speculation. But what I'm really saying is, most of the time they're buying probably a large chunk of social security numbers, so they're gonna find one that is usable.
Does your sister live on Beaver Island?
No.
Okay.
Why?
So she's wondering what the difference is between a billboard and a smartwatch. Typically the size, right? I mean, a smartwatch fits on your wrist. A billboard is a big thing alongside the road.
Depends on how big your wrists are.
That's a good point too.
Yeah. So Eric says that he learned that Joe is an 86-year-old man when it comes to passwords.
And my joints. Same thing.
And he also learned that Michelle can identify everyone on the show by voice only. Well, I would hope she could identify my voice from Joe's voice.
My voice versus Ken's voice.
Gee, Steph sounds a lot like a man.
Holy shit, is that Steph? Nope, that's Joe.
Oh boy.
Way to go, Michelle. Way to go, Michelle. Oh, all right. What did I learn today? I learned that we can drag a show about one single topic that is very, very minute and specific out for an entire hour, which shows, even though we had stuff before in the green room, it shows that we literally can have a show about anything and have a good time.
Listen, what I learned, I'm with you on that, but what I learned is like your multi-factor has to have a multi to it. Otherwise, you're going to be screwed like you were at that point.
Right.
So the multi-factor, it's got to give you a couple options. Right.
Like, I feel like there should always be the two options because
instead of just email or text message, and you obviously err to text message. That's what I've learned is she errs to text message instead of email.
If it gives me the two options, like, because on some of the logins you could pick, do you want to text or do you want to email or a call? Like a couple.
Almost every single one I know.
No, only like 3 of them that we have will give us multiple options like that. And if it would have been text or email, I would have never been dead in the water because I was able to receive all of my emails because I had internet. Because even though I couldn't have internet on my phone, like through my provider, I was still able to access my Comcast Wi-Fi from my office.
Right.
Do you pick,
so
but if you were to be given the option, do you pick email or text message?
I would pick a text message if I had the option because it's just.
I rest my case, Your
It's
Honor.
an easier thing for me to access while I'm doing multiple different things. But if it had the 2 little bubbles on the screen and I lost my cell service, like with what happened, then I would pick the email
option at that moment.
Right. That's what Kent's saying. Like that would have solved the
thought
problem.
We were talking about when you first set it up because normally you just get a default option and that's what I'm thinking, right?
Yeah.
What's your default? Text.
Eric, there is so much to talk about next week. Eric wants to know what we're going to discuss next week. We're discussing.
Oh my God, Eric, dude! Once again, Eric.
Sorry, Marie, I didn't know.
Oh, so no dingus distraction-wise. What?
The watches and
the watches versus the billboards. You're going to look at both.
Yeah, got it. Yes, that makes sense. Now that we covered everything I wanted to talk about next week, what the hell are we going to discuss? Oh. Don't worry.
Still a lot of things
just say,
to discuss.
Eric, just show up. You'll be fine. You don't have a lot of factor in your multi behind the camera guy.
That's right.
Two behind the camera guy. Well, I mean,
I'm multi. Personality.
He's got multi voices, multi personality. You know, every time the audience answers, it's really him.
That's right.
I mean, crap, we're right there. Look at us.
So next
Eric,
week,
we got so much to talk about next week. There are so many questions. And I can't wait to go through this because it's not just security that we're talking about, it's all IT. So how the hell do I get this thing to have my Microsoft, log in so that way I can edit an Excel spreadsheet? God, I could go down that for hours. But we're not going to do that because that would be a bad show.
Yeah. So has IT questions and all these things for next week. Save them. On the 22nd. What are we talking about on the 22nd, Kent?
The 22nd, we're talking about loans, lines of credit in the business's name.
Loans and locks.
We're going to have a guest on.
So we'll have guests the next 2 weeks.
Murray Ballou. Billy Murray.
Yeah.
Murray.
So if you guys want to
Good
know
old
the
Murray.
differences
I love me a good old
between
Murray.
having like a term loan versus a
Yeah.
line of credit and how those payments work and the
So
interest rates
anybody
and all of that.
needs, anybody that needs to talk about
How to build your business credit.
biz credit,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Biz credit is huge. God, we have a great story about biz credit.
In today's world.
Yeah. That was a tough one. We learned a hard lesson in biz credit
Yep.
for our lock, right?
Yep.
That was a really tough one. But we managed, we got through it. And hopefully everybody else here can learn from what we did.
Right.
So, all right. We're talking to Eric next week. IT, anything IT, not just security. We'll see you next week, Eric. And I promise Anne-Marie will harass you.
The bearded IT guy will be there in person.
Sober or not, here I come. We're gonna make sure it's not.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
A drunk
There'll be a
Eric.
lot.